What up, people? This is your boy Chip Fu from this Fu-Schnickens, and you're listening to Party 101.9. Stay tuned to keep it locked. Peace.
Tonight we're in the penthouse, and I have a special guest with me, and other than the legendary Chip Fu. How you feel?
What's happening? What's happening? I must say that this Music Wednesday is pretty crazy, and I'm glad that they invited me down here. I'm glad to see you, and I'm glad to be interviewed.
I heard you talking earlier about your Caribbean background, and it said that you was kind of a mix of Trinidad, Barbados, and even Grenada, right? Right. I have the same kind of Caribbean mashup going on. So I just want to know, like, how does that factor in and kind of influence your music?
Well, I think the best thing about it, being able being able to have lineage from all those islands, you're gonna never get writer's block because you can always find words that rhyme because of pronunciation from the different islands. That's one thing, you know what I mean? And the different thing about that is syncopation, which is different. How you hear music is totally different. So I think, the majority of the people from the Caribbean, and I'm gonna say this, that are in the industry was always nice. All of the MCs from the Caribbean has always been nice.
Okay.
We can name them from Biggie on down. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop and dancehall music, reggae music, and Caribbean music, they're cousins. And you could even notice from in the early '80s when hip hop artists started borrowing from dancehall records or borrowing from calypso records or soca records or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So even if you think about it, Africa Bambaata's from Barbados, Buster's from Jamaica, Fife Dog is from Trinidad, and I could keep going on. Slick Rick is from Jamaica. We could keep going if you want me to keep going, but I think that the best part about it, the influence is there, right? And we got to get to a point where people can understand the West Indians' influence on hip hop, music, and culture. But they ain't gonna talk about that, right? But at the end of the day, that'll come up soon in some stories. Yeah.
Yes, eventually. And like you said, you mentioned Biggie, and I even seen in his documentary that where the influence was with the whole dub plate and the class culture and all of that type of stuff. So yes. But we gonna get back to you. So how did your childhood growing up in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, kind of influence your music as well?
Well, if you think about it, growing up in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, it's basically it just feels like the boat crashed there, the Caribbean boat crashed there, and everybody just ran the different places in Brooklyn. So it super influenced my music because it's just been a mashup of music growing up in East Flatbush. Even going to school, they had to make sure that they had the dancehall segment and the hip hop segment. It couldn't just be one. You know what I mean? So that influenced my music incredibly, and to this day, you know what I'm saying. I gotta give a shout out to East Flatbush and basically the Caribbean culture because to be in the industry for so long and still putting out records and they sell, it just shows how strong the culture is.
So what are your thoughts on the current state of hip hop, and how do you see yourself contributing to the genre?
I love where hip hop is right now because at this particular point in time, hip hop has to grow. We've gone through the several stages of where people actually grip the microphone and they don't say nothing. And they say it's a vibe. Now bars is coming back, and I'm glad that you have a slew of artists that believe in that. So I can't wait to hear what's next on the menu for hip hop.
What do you hope for your legacy, what your legacy will be in the world of hip hop, and what message do you want to convey through your music?
Um, it's always going to be about peace and love first and foremost. And the one thing that people got to understand is, for me, that I was always creative. Anytime you hear a Chip Fu record, you're gonna hear creativity in that. You get what I'm saying? I'm not one that's afraid to step out the box. I think right now there's a lot of cookie cutter stuff that's going on right now, and everybody's comfortable with that. But I want that when people actually get my music, they could always say that that's one thing that Chip Fu brought to the table, which is creativity.
What's next for you in terms of new music, tours, and upcoming projects?
New music is dropping this Friday on all the DSPs. It's called The Beginning of the Reckoning. That's one thing. Next after that, we're gonna drop the album called Invisible Footsteps, and I'm super excited about that. Touring is gonna start next year. We're putting everything together, but what we wanted to do is make sure that the album was done first, So now that we finalizing all of that and mixing and mastering, I just can't wait for it's time for me to just jump on this stage and let people know what it's about. You know what I mean?
Where can they find you?
My fans could engage with me on Instagram at ShipFu, on Twitter at ShipFu, on Facebook at ShipFu if they use Facebook, you feel me, and on whatchamacallit, TikTok, ShipFu official. You know what I mean? You can reach me there and hear all the good music. What up, people? This is your boy Chip Fu, and I'm here with King Sheik from the King and I radio show. Stay tuned and keep it locked. Trust me. Peace.